Welcome back, everybody, to the to the Scale Success. Man, I'm so used to saying Clover's Reptile for my regular YouTube stuff. But today's a good one. Today's a special one because Chris and Levi had me on their podcast sometime last year when I was first fresh into the reptile community, and I learned a lot from their podcast and made some good connections. So I'm happy to bring them on. Great people. So I'm gonna make sure give them a platform too because they're always interviewing people and give them a chance to speak their mind on the other end of this. So hopefully we get a good showing tonight for these guys. So make sure you guys are hit the like button, subscribe to both of our channels. So they host the Sex and Flexin podcast. So make sure you guys go and do that. Let's get into some stuff here. And here we go. All right, guys. So we're gonna bring him on. Like I said, great guys, and we're gonna have some good conversations talking about reptiles, life, and and what's going on right now in the reptile industry. So here we go. We're gonna bring him on. What's going on, guys? We're live, man. How things going?
What's good, bro?
Everything's good. I'm doing good. I mean, I was chilling right now.
Chilling?
Yeah.
You come from
I
work
just
or you
got
just had
home from the gym.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the gym.
So do you do the gym every day? Do you do the gym every day?
I do the gym every day, bro. Or try to.
Yeah.
Right before work, I'll go to the gym and then go to work.
Okay. How do you keep the consistency? What's the secret to the consistency? Just going, just doing it.
Just go, suck it up and go, bro.
A lot of wiener.
Don't listen to that guy. He's on some drugs.
I wish.
All right, guys. So we're gonna I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself. Let's start with Levi. Talk about how long you've been in the reptile community. What are you keeping, and what do you guys like about the reptile community?
Bet. Levi over at FTL Reptiles. I've been in the industry. I'm going on my fifth year. Going on my 5th year. Man, I keep a handful of species. For those that didn't know, I got out of colubrids. I still have a couple of pets. They're more pets than anything else. Keep for my lake. Pine snake, gopher snake. That's it. Colubrid wise. I keep African house snakes as my, how everybody has that weird species, right? You got to keep that one weird thing that nobody else is really into. African house snakes is my niche.
That trouser snake.
That's what you keep in your mouth. Anyways, my secondary passion, if you will, retics. I'm mainly into the super dwarfs. I have one pet mainland, and then my firing, burning passion, the boas. Both I have BCC and BCI or BI, whatever people want to say nowadays. And then I got the whatever pet rocks that people are into. I got a couple.
Okay, so you do have ball pythons then.
I have a couple of pets, and one is actually going to be going to a friend that's getting into the hobby, so he can have an introduction animal. And then I'll be down to 2. The original snake that started it all, and then my wife's little freaking yeller banana thingamabob.
Yeller banana thingamabob?
Yeah, it's a yeller thingamabob, bro. It's onion.
That's a new morph, huh?
So is your wife's into reptiles then? I'm guessing.
I wouldn't say
she got into it after.
She tolerates them, and by her snake, I mean I take care of it, and she looks at it. She takes care of the lizards, though. Or that's right. I have an African fat tail and a leopard gecko. My wife takes care of those.
Okay.
I totally forget about them because they're inside.
So what do you like about the community, Levi?
Bro, this ain't your podcast. Answer the question.
What? That was the whole question.
That was
You
part of
didn't
the
ask me
question.
that.
That's
You're supposed to introduce yourself, fool. Introduce yourself, time in the hobby, and then what you keep.
And what do you like about the hobby?
Oh, what do I like about the hobby? Oh, but man, that's a loaded question because it's going to be a loaded answer. The ability to share something that's off the wall with people that don't get it at first. It really dawned on me, like with the 2 new people that I'm introducing to the hobby. Man, like that post I made about the dude that showed me those 2 dead rattlesnakes while I was holding my retic. It's just you can't. People won't understand until they're into it. But to explain to them what emotion we're trying to put into a bottle that we have for cold-blooded animals is what I enjoy the most about the hobby. Getting to introduce people to it, getting them to change their minds on these quote-unquote evil creatures or slimy, creepy, whatever the stigma behind it is, getting that mental changed and educating people into it, man. Just like, look, this is not this scary, evil thing that people made it out to be for so many years. You know, we're changing the stigma and getting people into it, man. It's to be able to capture that lightning in a bottle and spread it.
For sure. That's a good answer, man.
That was good, bro.
I don't know how Chris is gonna follow that one up.
He's not.
Yeah, I'm probably not. No, well, I'm Flexin, Finessin, Reptiles, also known as Chris. Me and this guy next to me, or that way, whatever. Yeah, that way.
This way.
Is my co-host for Sexin and Flexin Reptile podcast. So we run that podcast. I've been in the hobby for since 2018. I didn't get on Instagram until about 2020, I think. And then I started running from there, meeting everybody on Instagram, meeting the people, going to expos, and just interacting with everybody. And what I like about the hobby is when we do the show or when I post like something positive, I attract a lot of new people, and they hit me up in the messages, and I tell them don't be afraid that we can introduce you into the hobby, like just get you to meet the right people, connect you to the right people. I always tell them, like, don't be afraid. So I don't know, I just like the fact of meeting new people.
I think that not being afraid and stuff like that is like, I think we're getting away from that gatekeeper mentality and sharing more information and bringing more people in, because we're realizing if you keep that gatekeeper mentality, is going to be the small little group. And right now we need as many people as we can to grow our community.
Oh yeah, especially with what you guys got going on over there in Florida, man.
Tell me about it, man. Tomorrow and Thursday is going to be I don't even know what's going to be, actually. It could be really bad. It can be, I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to stipulate what's going to happen, because FWC definitely changes things back and forth, and nobody really has an insight on it.
Bro, y'all are going to go to war tomorrow. That's all I got to say. I'll be ready, bro.
Yeah, y'all got to respectfully burn that motherfucker to the ground, bro.
Yeah, I really hope we have a good showing, and we can have the floor and speak and talk about actual like facts and statistics, and not just about our passion, but we got to come up with certain facts about like how many people keep reptiles, what are the reptile businesses bringing to the state, all that stuff, because that's what matters to the state. If we're cutting into our taxes, they're gonna definitely hear from the from the general public.
That case in point, man. You hit them from an economics aspect, and you get a lot more people to listen. Like, it's really unfortunate that you have to look at it this way, right? Like, we have to bring money into it for people to listen, because they don't care, man. Like, it's like I was saying when we interviewed Patrick, when we were talking about, like, me, Chris, Patrick came to life talking about the snakes. Chris talking about the retics, me and Patrick going in on the boas, man, like that. Trying to spread that to these congressmen and FWC, they don't get it, man. Look at the way they treated Chris Coffee Snakes. That dude didn't care. He had a fucking smirk on his face. He enjoyed every second of that. But when you take that away and you hit them from an economics aspect, more people listen because, you know, it just draws more attention when you go, hey, well, the state's going to lose a few $1 million if you shut this down. And all of a sudden, ears start to perk, and people go, wait. There's that much money moving around. You look at the Petcos, the PetSmarts, the private reptile shops. You guys have Triple L down there, right?
Triple L, no.
You guys don't have Triple L Reptile Co. down there?
Mm-hmm.
What main? You guys have to ask somebody. What main brand store do you guys have along the lines of Triple L? Do you guys have like a Zilla?
No, we have basically, from my knowledge, is Petco, PetSmart. We have Pet Supermarket.
Okay,
those are the
there's
main
one.
big ones here. Yeah.
So you shut those places down, and
so we have the same like Petco, PetSmart, and then Pets Barn, and then some little mom and pop shops that are like reptile owners, but like they don't. I never heard of them. So,
but yeah, you talk about shutting them down, man, and all of a sudden big money starts to come in because they don't, we're only talking about the reptiles right now. It gets hyper focused, and as much as about hyper focusing as I want to be about, this is one of those situations where you got to unhyper focus. You got to look wide lens and look at the feeders, the substrate, the enclosures, the heat mats, the heat lights, the UV lights, the everything, fucking fake plants. You can even go as far as to say craft stores are going to get affected. Home Depot will be affected. Lowe's will be affected. Your mom and pop hardware stores. It's all the things that people don't think about. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not like the end of the world for them, but it's still economics that's being taken away. Like Home Depot gets hurt by the wood not being sold, the PVC not being sold. Lowe's, same thing. The screws, the nuts, the bolts, all the way down to the pennies. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking like the economy's in the tank right now. We're in the toilet. We don't want to be taking money out of that. That's how we got our congressmen here and our representatives in Arizona to listen to us. I have no concern about us being affected. We've got every ear listening to us because that's the approach that we took and it worked. So I strongly suggest that you folks down in Florida hit them there, hit them with the pets, hit them with the love, hit them with the success stories, hit them from every angle you guys can. Do not let up on these guys.
100%. Yep.
And remember to kill them with kindness.
But PVC is expensive. That's why Home Depot and Lowe's are losing so much money. That shit, they have it so high in that. Yeah, they ain't selling that shit.
Yeah, it's a full circle. One part of the chain breaks and it doesn't complete it. So that's the thing, man. I mean,
so I got a question for you, Alvaro. What are you gonna do if like all this stuff passes? You staying in Florida or are you moving out?
Man, you know the answer to that. So it's crazy because how things happen for a reason certain times, right? Things happen in life. And we have family in Texas in the DFW area. And we've talked for the last like 3-4 years because my wife's sister lives there. And they're like best friends, and we have kids that are about the same age. Here we don't. We're not from Florida, so we moved here. So okay. We've thrown around the idea of like, oh, maybe we should move there. We should move there. And right now, like last year was the decision maker. Like last year was like, okay, we're gonna move. We're gonna have a 2-year plan to move. So that's gonna happen. Now, if it goes way to the wrong side of things, it's definitely gonna speed up that 2-year plan. So we definitely have already had ideas, and it might push us to definitely execute them a lot quicker.
Damn.
Yeah. Because I'm not gonna get rid of my animals, just give them away or sell them off. At this point we've put in time and money, and my girls are attached to all these snakes. They're not just breeding projects. We started this as a family project. So there's no way I can tell my daughters like, hey, now we gotta sell off everything. I have eggs in the incubator right now too, so that's been on my mind the last couple of days too. It's like
Congratulations
what
on
happens
that,
with
by
all
the
these?
way.
Thanks, man. Thank you. You know what happens with all these animals that could possibly hatch this year? These are all things that we as Florida reptile keepers we do have to have in mind. We're like, yeah, we want to fight and try to slow down or stop the progress at FWC, but we also need to have a contingency plan on how to deal with our animals in case they say, hey, everything's got to go. We got to start planning now. Unfortunately.
Yeah, for real. I mean, Boza, you're in the chat. What's your contingency plan, bro? That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question for everybody in Florida right now. And then, let's take it a step farther on contingency plans. As blessed as we are in Arizona, like, we still need one. Everybody needs one at this point, because if this goes through, it's going to set a precedent that it worked in Florida, it could work in all other 49 states. Like, look at the momentum some of these other states have built. I mean, I don't know. I'm terrified. I haven't really been paying attention. I'm not even going to lie to anybody. I haven't been paying attention to the alerts on USR because I've been so focused on what's going on in Florida. Like, I can only imagine that with all the other shit going on, like, there's got to be a third, if not more, of the community that's in the same boat I am, where it's just we're on pins and needles just waiting to see what happens in Florida, because that is going to dictate the way the rest of these alerts go, the way the rest of the country goes.
I'm like, but not only that, there are people who are already giving up. They're like, let's just face reality. We lost this. Like, Florida, you lost. I've seen posts saying, Florida, you lost. Like, what's next?
No.
Like, if Florida loses, they don't understand. If Florida loses, it's coming downhill straight from there.
I can't, dude. I can't. I really wish those would pop up on my feed, because I will comment, like, we are not throwing in the towel. Like, understand this.
Been pop-ups.
Come hell or high water, from the bottom of my heart and every fucking reptile keeper in this hobby, all the way from Florida to every single coast and every person in between. If you want to throw the towel in, fine. You do that and get the hell out of our way, because I will tell you for a fact they will not pull these animals out of my cold, dead hands. They will not pull these animals out of any of our cold, dead hands without the biggest fight that this government has ever seen from the smallest minority community that exists. Do not. My message to everybody is, do not throw the towel in. If they lose in Florida, we still don't back down. Just because it sets a precedent doesn't mean there's not a fight.
No, there's a fight.
Do not give up. There is a fight. If there's a will, there's a way. God damn it. If it's David and Goliath, we're bringing the damn slingshot. We've got.
I'm just like,
Moses
damn,
said
bro.
the same thing. He'll move. He's not gonna give up. He's not gonna get rid of his animals. I feel like a lot. I know, I understand. Like, not everybody's gonna have the possibility to move because of work, family, all that stuff. But if you're able to, I think a lot of people will. So there goes tax paying. There goes people that work, economy in Florida, right? I have a construction project management business. That's one of the main things I've been writing in all these letters and comments I've been sending to, the governor, our legislators, FWC. It's like, if for some reason we have to get rid of our animals, or the animals are outlawed, you're not just going to lose a taxpayer, but you're also going to lose a business in your state, because I'm moving both of my businesses out of Florida. I have my skill. I can move it to Texas and still make a living. So that's. And I know a lot of reptile people have a 9-to-5 job, work at corporations, have their own businesses that will pull out of Florida, and because of their reptiles.
Exactly. I really, I hope they listen, man, because they're gonna feel it. Like, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be a week, 2 weeks, it may not even be a year, but they're gonna feel the economic consequence of what they're doing, because it takes. You're right. You got friends that are in corporations, but with the current job that I'm at, I could take it to any 50 states. So if everything went to hell in Arizona tomorrow, I could happily pick up and move to Texas. And again, it's like I was saying earlier, if there's a will, there's a way. Like, we will make the government in any state and overall feel the consequences of coming at us like this. If we got to hit, you vote with your dollar, right? Well, guess what? We ain't voting on Florida no more. I will tell you, if it goes through, like, I won't buy anything out of Florida. I'm not going to do, if I find out my money is going to Florida in any way, shape, or form, it's not. I promise you that. Now that I'm actually speaking this out loud, that is a move that we can make as an entire industry. Figure out where your money's going. Shut it down. Anything that goes into Florida, anything associated, do not pay for it. Like, sorry, I know it affects somebody else, but at the same time, like, you guys had an option to back us up.
Yeah, but it doesn't just like, I get what you're saying, pull all the money out, but also the keepers there, like the ones that build enclosures or use the PVC, they're gonna lose a lot of money too. So they got to move out of there too, because that's pretty much their business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a 5150 down there.
I'm just saying,
But,
like,
you know,
everybody's gonna have to back out of Florida.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, you know, you were talking about earlier, you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in U.S. Arc National. So we talk about, you know, we see general political like strategies, right? What happens when there's one major issue going on, right? And everybody's hyper focused on that, and then they come in the background and start moving different pieces in other locations or other legislations. And it's probably going on because, you know, we're so focused, we're putting all our energies into Florida right now, which we need to. But I have been seeing U.S. Arc, more things popping up on U.S. Arc National what's called notification emails.
Yeah, and the other one, yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a political game. That's all it is. It's a political game, you know, and we got to figure out how to play it the same way.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be it's an uphill battle. And Christina, I am aware that not everybody can move out of Florida. We touched on that, and it's at the same time though, if there's a will, there's a way. Like, you have, like, if we're going to get put into a corner, like, we're not going to have many options, and a lot of states are going to have to look at that. You know, what is it going to take to stand by what we're saying of, like, making the economics make sense? You know, fine, if you're going to put us in this corner, then we're going to leave. You know, even if the community has to get involved to help people get out of Florida at this point, like, I'm not opposed to it.
Sure.
You know, because there are financial repercussions of moving. If we can help in any way, shape, or form, if this goes sideways, like, it's just what it's going to take. We're going to have to stand united more than we ever have before.
You know, like, and maybe it's in the meantime, you know, holding animals for each other and stuff like that. Like, if there's people out of state, you know, reaching out and making these connections with people from other states. Like, hey, I need to get rid of my animals, but I can't move until the next year or two. But I need to get my animals rid of that, you know, get my animals out of state within the next couple of months, right?
For sure.
That's a way to support, and, you know, doing this, what we're doing here, talking about it, making connections and making the community stronger together. It's what's going to help each other.
Definitely. That is something that we should bring to USR Florida's attention. If this goes sideways and there is this ginormous ban put in place and people need to move animals, is starting a sub community of people that are able to take in other keepers' animals and get shipping set up and get ready. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with the contingency plan.
Yeah,
I know. I would help hold animals if needed, but I'm all the way in
sure.
Texas, and shipping animals all the way out here, you know how much that's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have more than 50 animals.
Yeah, this is could get ugly, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and I am hoping for the best. I'm hoping that, you know, it's maybe just a show of force right now, and they just want to play the, you know, we're the bigger, you know, entity here, and we're gonna, you know, do what we want, and maybe at the end of the day, hopefully they pull back or it's less than what we think is gonna happen. But at the same time, we can't step off the gas. We got to keep going once we have momentum.
Absolutely, 100%, man.
I mean, look, Christina's already said, you know, she's in North Carolina. If she'll be able to hold animals if people can't get out of the state, you know.
For sure, I know and there's plenty of keepers here in Arizona that'd be willing to help out too.
Sure. I mean, I don't think this you know, solution has been talked about yet. You know, and I think people don't want to really think about that, but it can be a reality.
For sure, man. Again, you brought up, you know, contingency plans, man. Like, if it's what is it, Murphy's Law, right? What can go wrong will go wrong, so plan for it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to expect for the worst and pray for the best in a situation like this, especially with the history of FWC, the way that Florida's gone, and everything that's starting to come to light. You know, the massacre that occurred, it's such a tragic situation. But, you know, if I'm going to speak freely and just be blunt about it, I wish this had happened years ago, because it's the fire that we needed that may have been too late. This video came out too late for as much momentum and power as FWC has built. Like, it's almost like we built up this ginormous tidal wave and it ended up just being a fucking splash of a kiddie pool of them. Nothing's really changed. Daniel's done God's work, but like, this has enabled him to finally make the steps that he's needed to make. But now the whitelist is back. Now FWC is like they're putting their foot on the gas, and it's like we're a quarter mile behind.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, yeah, we're backpedaling now.
Yeah, because now we got to push back. Now we got to get even bigger into the fight. You know, now we got to try to get this community to stand up, and you got people already fucking throwing on the towel. Like, God damn it, man.
And it's hard, man. And I understand, you know, I do have sympathy with certain people that, like I said, you know, just throwing in the towel, because not most people, like Christina said, have maybe the ability to just say, I'm going to move, or, you know, if I get involved in this, I can lose my job. There's you know, the whole different circle, right? I even think about it, you know, like, how am I going to speak tomorrow? You know, when I decide to go, you know, whichever day I get my time to speak, what exactly I've been thinking about it, what exactly I'm going to say and present, so I can, at least somebody can hear me out, you know?
For sure.
I definitely think we need to have, not just go up there and speak out of our hearts, because sometimes, you know, that can emotion and can get us to maybe not deliver the message directly to the person that needs to hear it, right? The messages need to be clear, communicated, facts, and delivered to these people.
No, 100%, man. It was like when Daniel sent out that photo of him shaking hands with whatever the FWC director's name is. Man, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, and I mean this, like, I can't promise I would have shook his hand and not punched him in the face. Like, I think my emotions would get the best of me in a situation like that for what happened and what they've done to other animals, what they've done to the industry, how corrupt they are. And Chip said it best. Look, follow the money, man. Look at where FWC's got their hands into and what they're really up to. They're not conservationists. They're corruptionists. Corruptionists? Is that the word I'm looking for? Christina, help me out here.
I don't think that's the word.
I think corruptionist.
It might be. If it is, I feel it. I'll check.
I was like, I think it may be, but then I'm not sure.
Whatever. They're corrupt as hell. They got money in places that it shouldn't be. They're investing in properties they shouldn't be. Donnie exposed it best. There's an entire rabbit hole of a government entity, and it's just like this hobby's not big enough to make the waves that we need to make. Because let's be real, if this was PETA, you know what I mean? Like, if it was FWC versus PETA, it's a whole different ball game, because now you're talking fluffy animals. Now you're talking pigs, horses, dogs, cats. If that was the fight, it'd be a whole different story. This would be all over national television. Oh, dogs got slaughtered, and you know, this place that did it is super corrupt. And this is where the money's going. Everybody be listening. We have eyes and ears from all over all 50 states. But because it's this evil animal that the rest of the country looks at, because we've done a lot, but we haven't chipped away enough to get enough people to change that mental to where it's like, yeah, that what happened that day is disgusting. What's happening overall is disgusting. Imagine if they try to push a legislation act saying tomorrow that you can't have German Shepherds, you can't have Golden Retrievers, you can't have Chihuahuas, you can't have any of these dogs. What would happen?
Everybody being up in arms. It wouldn't even pass, you know, get off the person's desk that wrote it. You know, it wouldn't go anywhere. I was getting a haircut yesterday, and I know I have shared this through our group chat. You know, my barber had asked me about it a couple of weeks ago when was getting a haircut, and then yesterday I was getting a haircut. Excuse me. And then he asked me, "Hey, did that meeting happen yet?" Trying to get over a cold. And I told him, "No, it's happening this week." He goes, "Oh," he goes, "Let me know how it goes. I'm invested in this now. I really, hopefully it goes well for you guys." But that's just me talking to one person, right? Hopefully he talks to his family about it, and then it becomes a snowball effect.
100.
Us, sharing our stuff on our Reptile page that are followed by Reptile people, it does help, but it's an end. It's an end cycle. We need to. I have my personal Instagram. I share it on my personal Instagram. That's I had before even Reptiles. I shared it on my personal Facebook and stuff like that. So I can get awareness to my friends that don't follow my Reptile page. So if you guys do have another page that's not, reptile related and that you had before, that your, non-reptile people, friends follow and family follows, go ahead and share it there too. Don't just share it to the reptile people that already know what's going on and that are aware about it.
Get the new people. Yeah, exactly. Spread the reach.
Mm-hmm.
It would be real nice. I sound like a broken record, but it'd be real fucking great for Prehistoric Death to come out right about now. This, again, this is a prime example of why I hate this guy. If anybody new on this podcast doesn't understand, why does Levi hate Prehistoric Death? What's wrong with Jay? This is my biggest beef with him. You have the biggest platform to the most amount of people that have no idea what's going on in Florida. One post, one YouTube video, one fucking reel is all it would take to go, hey, this is what happened in Florida. I need all of my followers to send this email to these people, letting them know this is not okay and we will not let them take our animals.
Bro, but it's like he avoids it. Like, why? I don't get it.
It's a simple fact, man. He doesn't want the heat. He already people. So you think about it, people that have that reach already have gotten success already, and for them to go against the grain, it's almost nailing their own coffin, and they don't want to do that. Unfortunately, as humans, we're selfish. I don't care who you are. You're selfish because you have your own motives and your own personal gains. But you have to be a good person too and balance that.
Not for sure. Well, this is the gut check that I think the industry needs, and somebody like that just running around doing whatever he wants. Barczyk has spoken on it, and he's not in the best health. Brian Barczyk is not doing well, but he has spoken on it. He's shared it out. He's spoken and done, what he can with the ability that he has.
Yeah, Dave Kaufman, he did a great video. And he has a pretty good YouTube following too, so you can definitely tell people that are invested and that care about the community.
For sure. 100%. And you can tell the ones that give, that actually truly care, are the ones that are pissed off about what happened in Florida. And then it's like, I've taken note, man, the ones that are supposed to be about the animals that were killed and nobody has spoken.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't take much to just speak up. Like, I'm not saying we got to donate. I would never ask anybody to donate or go out of their way or do anything extra than share. Let's bring awareness. Use your platform. If you have a platform, use it. That is one of the biggest things that we need in this hobby.
Yeah, but a lot of people also think since it's not happening where they live, like, it's whatever. I get that.
I don't understand that mental, man, because if you think about it, right, it probably is happening. Think about what happened, what came to light right after the massacre. It was like, what, a month that they revealed that they killed an animal right before they went to that damn facility? How many animals are in grace prior to that? And what are these other government entities up to that we don't know about? These people that don't have platforms, these people that keep reptiles, but they're not on Instagram. We're not that big, man. Like that. That's the thing that people don't understand. Like, we are still a minority as compared to the rest of the world, let alone the rest of the United States. Like, there's only an X amount of keepers and an X amount of people in the United States. We make up, I would say the average, Christina, help me out here, is probably less than 1%.
Yeah,
How many people are out there that fucking happening. Like, that is such a trash mental to have. Like, I don't even want to hear it anymore. Oh, well, it's not happening here. What are you doing in the hobby? What are you doing in the industry? What is your part here if you're not willing to at least share it because, oh, it's not happening here? Like, Alvaro said it best. Selfishness, like, that's a prime example. Like, I am in this for me and me only at this point. That's it. That's not being about the animals. That's not being about the industry. First and foremost, that's not about the fucking animals.
We're nothing without the animals. This right now, this podcast can shut down if and if we don't have animals, this all goes away. So
exactly. If you're about the animals, you're speaking up. It's just that simple. Like, whether it was a retic, a berm, a boa, a fucking African house snake, a ball python, a corn snake, a fucking rat snake. It doesn't matter what the animal was. Like, just in general, like that is where we stand. That is where we meet, is the animals. Like, that is what brings this entire community together and is the center, the core. Everything revolves around the animals. And if you are truly at the bottom of your heart about these animals, you're not about the money at the end of the day. You're not about yourself. You're not about any other motive than the animals. You're speaking up. You're saying something. You're doing just the slightest little bit is all that the community needs. Using your platform, speaking to people, doing just the bare minimum, then you're about the animals. But if you're not doing anything because it's not happening in your state, you're not about the animals.
Bro, but it's like Bosa says, it's because it's a snake. But if it was a cat, people would, run downhill. Or if it was a pit bull, that'd be hella different too.
Well, not in Miami-Dade, because pit bulls are outlawed in Miami-Dade still.
I was going to say, man, the pit bull community is probably the closest community. Any dog that's been banned is the closest that we'll ever get to a community that can relate to what we're struggling with.
Yeah. And the pit bull is not even a breed. It's a classification. It's a look, basically. So that's the hardest part about it.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, like, a lot of people still don't understand that it's not only reptiles. It's exotic birds, exotic fish, exotic cats, because everybody has those big ass cats, I mean, people just need to open their eyes and be like, oh, I got to get on this. I got to get into USR. I got to go help. I got to push this. It's for me to keep my animals, but I don't know. People's mentality nowadays is, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it.
Well, you know what, man? This is one thing, and I've learned recently in life. It's trying to put those shoes. Try to be in those shoes of those people that don't, help or don't want to progress, either whatever aspect of life, either community and stuff like that. It's a waste of time because you will not get through those people. It really is. You have a better time of reaching people that are open to your comments, open mind, than you have those people that don't want to do it. Those people are already set in their ways, and it's hard to change.
I mean, yeah, we know.
At that point, it's ignorance.
Yeah.
At that point, it's ignorance.
We know I'm gonna say people that have money, or say they don't have money and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it, man.
So tomorrow, since we've been chatting about this for about a half an hour now. Tomorrow, in Miami, the Hilton Miami Airport, Blue Lagoon. The address is 5101 Blue Lagoon Drive, Miami, Florida, 33126. Tomorrow, May 10th and May 11th, from 8:30 to 5 p.m. is the FWC commission meeting. So make sure if you're in the area, if you support not just reptiles, like they said, fish, wild, any exotic animals, even up to certain mammals. Make sure you go out there and express your thoughts on what's going on. At USARC, I'm looking at USARC Florida Instagram page right now. It said if you can't go both days, to make sure to show up May 11th, because that's when the white list of proposal is, on May 11th.
And we need numbers, guys. Come on. I know you're out there. If
Every
you're watching this, get there. Yeah.
every goddamn keeper better be there.
Yep. Yeah.
That's one of the days, like, you burn your PTO, you burn your sick time, you fucking make a personal sacrifice to be there for that one.
Yeah, like I'm tight on my schedule on tomorrow. So I might pop in and out for a little bit, but for sure, Thursday I will be there from the early morning to the end of the meeting or however this agenda goes.
Bro, just
if
keep
we
us
can,
updated.
we'll do for sure. I'm probably gonna do it live. I'm not sure if they allow social media streaming and stuff like that. But you can stream it on Florida TV or something like that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's a website. I'm gonna look up for it. I'm gonna look into it tonight, and I'm gonna post it on my Instagram on how you can stream it and watch it live because they do broadcast it out
Cool.
most of the times on the meetings.
Yeah, share that out,
Yeah.
man. I'll watch it.
Cool. Yeah. So
Bro.
yeah, I say hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and let's stay together as a community. That's my final thoughts tonight on this subject. Tonight, definitely once I get off this podcast, I'm gonna sit down and try to figure out what am I gonna say, what statistics, facts I'm gonna bring to the table when I speak. And I think all of us that are gonna be there need to do that.
For sure.
And any last words on this topic, guys?
Yeah, my last thought process on this is the same numbers that came to Repticon or any of the big expos that you have out there better be the same damn numbers that show up these 2 days, if not more.
Man, I know a lot of people have been preaching this too. Like I seen Emilio preach it over there on Keys. We preached it on ours. I mean, you're preaching it now too on yours. I mean, man, we need them numbers. I hope you guys show up for them tomorrow.
I hope so. I know I've talked to all those people within the South Florida community, and there's going to be a handful there too. So I'm happy about that. I talked to some people today, just double check, and there's going to be people out there that I know personally. So I'm happy about that. Because even if it's just the quantity of people that we show up, maybe not everybody gets to speak, but if they can see that we are strong in numbers, can sway somebody's mind.
100.
So Bosa posted here is the floridachannel.org. So go ahead and take that down. That's where they'll broadcast it if it gets broadcasted. I'll double check. Usually there's a broadcasting schedule and you can see what's going to be broadcasted that day.
The floridachannel.org.
Yep. I'll leave that up so everybody can look at it.
Yeah, because I don't have a pen and I'm on my phone. So
yeah, and I'll post it on my channel too.
Yeah,
we should all post it on our social medias. Yeah. So guys, I also want to talk. We talk of bad things that are going on in the community right now because Florida does affect everybody in the community. But I also want to touch subject on like success that you guys have in your personal own, keeping your communities, your life, and stuff like that. So I'll start with Chris. Chris, what I want to know success in your life and with reptiles. What does that mean? Because I know you've talked about you have certain ideas that you want to do, like a reptarium. You want to have gym and stuff like that. Like, I think that's probably like a route into your success story and your thoughts. You could like get us more into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into that. Like, I want to do a gym, a reptarium on top, and then a gym on the bottom. But we'll see how that goes, man. But that's still a long way down the road. Right now, I'm just more focused on the podcast, trying to build that up. Because I'm not gonna lie, we're making a lot of headway on our podcast. I feel like me and Levi together will be hella successful soon. Like, I mean,
I agree. I think you guys, have found how to captivate the audience. You guys have a good dynamic between the two of you. And you guys have gotten some great sponsorships in the last couple of months. So congrats to that, So you guys are making headway. And I'm happy for you guys. Even as a fellow podcaster, to me, I'm a person that I don't see competition. I really do I'm not saying this because it's about myself, but I do really hope the best for everybody and success for people that allowed me to come on your podcast and gave me a platform early on. I do hope success for you guys because guess what? Success for you means success for me also, because I am at this point, let's say, connected to you guys.
For
So
sure.
if we can push each other to better our podcast, our animals' health, and keeping our social media, why not? Right?
100.
Why not? So other than like so what are your talking about success? Do you have goals? Have you guys talked about like subscriber goals, viewers, and all that stuff within your podcast right now? Within the year?
I think we're gonna do a giveaway if we hit 500. That's one of our goals right now, trying to get 500 so we could do this giveaway. We are gonna be, well, I'll be donating me and Levi are gonna be doing a blanket, a Sex and Flexin one and only blanket.
I already told you guys, it's
and
gotta be
maybe
a
a
snuggie,
shirt.
man. I guess it's gotta be a snuggie.
It's an awesome blanket. It actually looks like one of my blankets. Look, I'll show you guys. Hold on. 'Cause I have some blankets. So a blanket is soft. Legit looks.
You got to put a king snake in the middle of it, though.
A king snake.
Don't listen to
Bro,
Chip.
Chip already in the comments on your ass.
For real, I know, man. So it would be something like this. Just has a big logo in the middle.
Nice.
What a king snake over.
With a king snake over it. So I'm looking at it. I'm looking at your podcast channel right now. You're at 403 subscribers. You guys are really close. You guys are really close to that 500 mark. Man,
I want to kind of do it like the way FNA Balls did it, the giveaway, where they hashtag it and it enters the people in, and then you pick 3 and then add them to like a race, So, yeah, I want to see if I can learn how to do that.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now. When you guys get to 500, if by that time you guys get to 500, and you guys are doing a giveaway, I'll donate one of the my hog noses that I have incubated right now as a giveaway.
Respect. Thank you.
All right. Like I said,
awesome.
we got to push each other and help each other. So if you guys are into hog noses and have been following what I'm breeding, right now it's I say probably 50 days. My first clutch should be hatching, and then my other one was just Sunday. So, I mean, you guys might get there a lot quicker. So we'll see.
We'll see, man. I mean, honestly, like as far as like goals for the podcast go, I mean, I'm not. After talking to a couple other people, like I don't know about Chris, but I'm not. Subscriber count, views, and all that. Like right now, man, we talk behind the scenes. Like there's so much inflation to the pod game and the community right now. I'm not stressing numbers. I'm not stressing success based on numbers. I'm looking for us to be consistent. We drop down to a day. Sundays are our day until Chris' schedule changes. Then we'll figure out what the future of consistency looks like. But for now, we're Sundays only. We dropped it down to one day so we can hyper focus on that day, much like we're doing with our projects right now, away from the podcast, but still tethered into the podcast. That's the goal. It's just consistency and pushing through the storm. Because like with all due respect, I hope you're here, Alvaro, rocking with us throughout the entire thing. But me and Chris aren't going anywhere. We're going to be right there with MJ. We're going to hit that 5-year mark. We're going to fucking celebrate, be up there with the trap, and just remain consistent. Because you think about one of the most consistent, longest reigning podcasts so far, MJ's up there. And that's exactly the path that we want to be on, is just that consistency, sticking around, pushing through it. Because not everybody, I mean, it's evident in the numbers. Like you see all the podcasts that popped up in the last 6 months, how many are still around? One that I could think of off the top of my head that I've been a huge fan of has been the whole back rack. They do some interesting shit over there that nobody else does, and they stay consistent. I like what they got going on. Outside of that, like, I know there's a handful of them. No disrespect, I'm not talking shit, but some have fallen off, some have stuck around. But like, we're just going to remain consistent. We're playing the long game here. We're not going anywhere. We got everybody that we've had on so far, and there's still a Bible's worth of names to go. Obviously, we'll bring you back for a part 2. We still got part 2s coming. We got part 3s. We got part 4s. We got new guests coming on. We got plans out the yin yang. That's going to take. Fuck. If I list off every guest that I want to see on the show in the next 2 years, we'd be here for another hour and a half, just me rattling off names of keepers.
That's a good thing because you have a plan at least, and that's the beginning of something that when good things happen, you're planning, and then it's executing it there. Because just doing it day by day, it's hard to see progress. I'm not gonna say success, but progress. To get to the top of the mountain, right? So it seems like you guys have a plan, and I think you guys will get there.
Thank you, appreciate that.
So like I planned. Like Levi plans like that, but I plan like whoever hangs with us, like our family, of course. They're gonna eat with us wherever we go. Like we're not gonna be like, oh no, you didn't get us here. Like I'm not gonna like bring that up, but we're not gonna be like that. Let's just say that. You with us, you ride with us, you're gonna eat with us. So,
yeah, and I think support for each other comes in different ways. It might not be sharing everything out on social media because honestly, social media is not the end all be all. We live. There's real life out of there, right? We're humans. What did we do before social media?
Work.
Called each other, contacted. The shows and all that stuff. So that's very important. It might not be the person's place to share social media or to be on social media, but there is people supporting you in the background. Being able to understand that and keep them in mind is important because nobody is successful either in the reptile community, regular, big business people and stuff like that. Nobody has done it on their own. I don't care this self-made millionaire, this and that. Everybody has a team backing them up.
Oh, for sure, 100%, man. That is one of the unspoken parts of success is the team that you have behind you. Because even the self-made millionaires, right? Oh, shout out to my dad. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to my lifelong friend. Shout out to this person. There's always somebody else that's involved. Because nobody wakes up tomorrow and doesn't have somebody screaming in their fucking ear to go get up and do that shit. That doesn't, help them one way or another. Me and Chris, for example, like before we even started the fucking podcast, like motivated each other, keep fucking pushing, keep going, don't give up. There'd be no fucking podcast without Fortnite. Shout out to Fortnite.
For real.
Without our fucking kids, bro. Without our goddamn kids, we would not be here.
100%. I'm the same thing, just with my animals. I wouldn't be here if my girls didn't push getting a pet Western hognose, and lighting the fire back into me about reptiles. I will still, probably just be, what's it called? Not lost. Just not have the mindset not have the knowing that this is all going on. The reptile community, everything is going on, right? I am happy for them.
Real quick, do you guys ever walk by somebody and wonder if they're a reptile keeper at this point? Like how many people out there keep reptiles and they just aren't a part of the main industry yet? Or if they're just not at all, they don't even know we exist? I be thinking that shit all the time, but like this motherfucker.
And it's out there. Yeah. I'll tell you guys I'll tell you a quick story. I was in the Marine Corps and I got out of the Marine Corps in 2011. And this year helping put together a reunion for our platoon. And through this process, I've connected back with guys that I haven't talked in 10 years or, same thing. We started a WhatsApp group chat and has been connecting us. Today, we had a meeting with an organization, it's a nonprofit, that's putting this on for us and that's taking us out to a outing, basically. And two of my best friends from the Marine Corps are part of the planning group with myself. we're like, man, we haven't talked to this person here and there, right? Like, let's just start calling them. Let's reach out to them, right? So we did, and we called a couple people. We got a couple people on FaceTime and started talking. And one of the guys was like, man, I didn't know you were into reptiles. He goes, I just bought a ball python. I've been looking into buying Western hog noses too.
Oh shit!
I've known this guy for, since we're 18, 19 years old, but even within that time frame when in the military, that never came up. But now we know that each other, we like reptiles and stuff like that. So it's interesting.
It's one more bond, man.
I think like people forget that they ever had a passion of reptile. Maybe at one point in life they had that passion and then they lose it. You know what I mean? Or grow up.
And you know why it is? Because it's not a part of regular society. Just how we put ourselves in the rat race of trying to become successful in a corporate job, getting a degree. Listen, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, because there isn't. There's different paths for everybody, but that's not a path for everybody. And we do, society, the communities do push that narrative on a lot of people.
Oh, for sure, 100%, man. Yeah, it's crazy when you start talking to people about it, and like you open up again, let's go full circle. That lightning in a bottle. Once people see the lightning in the bottle, like it changes perspective. And people that you never thought, again, like you knew this dude for 10 years, you guys probably would have never thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had lifelong, some old friends that have been around my entire life. They're like, "Oh, you do that now?" It's like, yeah. Son Reed lit the fire that was there. Remind him of Steve Irwin, bro. That's always a missing component. Everybody grew up watching Steve Irwin, whether they loved it or they hated it. Everybody knows who Steve Irwin is, and that's where the passion started. Especially for the generations that are here now on Earth, minus maybe the newer generations. Some of them probably at this point don't know who Steve Irwin is, but ours and backwards, even my grandparents know who Steve Irwin was.
Yeah, like I know my daughters don't know who Steve Irwin is, and that might be a good like binge Saturday. Try to find all these old episodes and sit down and watch it with them. That'd be really cool.
Show them his son. That's their generation, Steve Irwin. They're still around. He's not as active as his dad was on TV, but like their content's still out there, man. Like the Irwins are still alive and well and killing it at the zoo. For the new, I guess that's a new project. Bring the new generation back to where we started. Here's a piece. This is why we do what we do. My son's friend's dad was telling me that she's into reptiles and she watches Snake Discovery. Just found that out not too long ago. She's like, "Oh, I'm obsessed with Snake Discovery." So I invited them over. They're going to come over eventually and look through the collection they want to get into. So it starts somewhere, man.
Yeah, same thing. I have my our family that lives in Texas. They're actually going to come over this weekend. They're flying in. But the husband now wants him to get into snakes because they see how much, we're enjoying it and what we're doing and stuff like that. And he goes, "All right, when I'm there, I want to definitely start holding some snakes and seeing what you guys do, because we're going to get some." And before that, there's no, he likes animals, but there was no thought of getting a snake or a reptile before that.
That's what's up, man.
It is infectious.
Chris? I said that was badass, and what got me back into reptiles is when I hold the snake again. It was a ball python actually, and that's why I guess it lit back up, and I was like, you know what, I want to do it, and that's how I got all these ball pythons.
Yeah, that's why I think shows are so important, because you know what, you might not go and sell a single animal, or just break even with what you paid to get to the show and set up and stuff like that. But guess what? You probably have lighted that fire in that one person that might be the next, Steve Irwin, that might be the next, president of the United States, and has a love for the reptiles.
Oh, for sure. 100, man. That's, facts.
I mean, we hope that's what we do. Like, we reach those kind of people, but
I think we do. And I think we're in a place in society that people are trying to get back in touch with wildlife and nature. And snakes and reptiles are not tamed animals 100% yet, right? So it's still that wild part of it that intrigues people.
See, that's the thing too about snakes, man. I don't think we'll ever have a tame snake. They're unpredictable, man, and that's again like it's a good and a bad look, but whatever, it's man.
But nature was nature.
Double-edged.
Yeah, think about is nature is Mother Earth intended to be tamed?
No, absolutely not. But we get to interact with it. Like I said in that
Mhm.
post on my mainland, man, it's two apex predators living in harmony. Like when you start, like that's how I explain that to people all the time. I'm like, this is an apex predator. This is us just in the snake version. Nothing in the wild fucks with the retic. They run that shit. They are the apex predator. A 20 can be up to 20-foot long snake running around runs that shit. There are things that run away from it. It owns its micro habitat. Nothing in the direct environment fucking with it. Yet we coexist with it. Like what an incredible thing to be a part of. Like every time I think about it, every time I hold her. Like this thing in the wild would kill anything in its path, and I'm walking in here and picking it up and interacting with it. Like
Yeah.
What a thing! What an experience! And then all
what
the
a privilege, right?
Yeah.
That's like I posted this morning on my Instagram a time lapse video of one of the snakes laying an egg, and I was looking at it this morning. I'm like, man, to be able to witness this and be part of the creation of something, help produce wildlife and stuff like that. It is a privilege, and I do feel blessed because you know what, I think finding reptiles in this community has definitely changed my way of looking at life for certain things. So I do gotta give thanks to the community and the animals because, like we said before, the community wouldn't be anything without the animals for putting certain things in perspective in my life right now.
For sure, 100.
Has and we're gonna go off that. Do you have any stories on like reptiles changing the way of you do certain things, the way you look in life? Do you have that one animal that is just you look at it and you're amazed by it?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely. The retic I got. I always say the retic because that thing, man. When I hold it at the Arlington show, it just was like amazing. I just fell in love as soon as they put it in my hand, dude. And then to actually get one, oh man. And then about to get another one. It's not a retic, but a neochondro from Chuck, the
Fuck
man.
yeah.
So
Let's
yeah,
go.
man. I don't know, like just looking at all the snakes and the way he hand tamed his baby neos are amazing. Like you can just literally pick it up and it'll crawl into his hand. I don't know, man. The way he handles
That's
those babies
crazy.
is amazing. Yeah, and then when he was showing me when they grow out, they're blue, dude. They start turning blue like in the little spots. It's gorgeous, bro. They're gorgeous. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
What a part of life to be a part of too. Like the color change that chondros go through, man. Like we get to be a part of that and watch it, and Chuck's creating it and spreading it. And to answer your question, bro, yes, reptiles have changed my life for the better overall. Let's talk about health, right? Like I'm dropping weight like crazy because I realized I was like, holy shit, I let this shit go. And the way I'm losing weight, my number one way is herping. Is going out back into the wild, getting back to me, and interacting with wild reptiles. It keeps my mind off of losing weight. I'm not concerned about weight loss and exercise. I can go 4 or 5 miles easy. Not even fucking think about it, man. I will be balls deep in some fucked off area of the desert I have absolutely no business being in, crawling through some stupid area I shouldn't be in, and not even think about it. And I'd be pouring sweat. I'd be cut up, bruised, battered, whatever the case is. But I'm dropping weight while I'm doing it. I'm not even thinking about it. The second I find that snake, bro, it's euphoria.
It pays off.
It pays off there and back, man, because it never stops. So it's always been that way, right? Like it always has been my way of staying active. So it's always been a health benefit to be able to go out and herp and interact with them in the wild. It helps motivate me for conservation of animals overall because I'm cleaning up trash, I'm picking things up. as I'm going, or I'm removing something that has, human touch all over it. Like there's a construction site not too far away from here. They keep expanding, motherfuckers, pissing me off. But like there's Gatorade bottles and all kinds of trash out there, man, all up in the desert. It's like I'm picking it up, throwing it in the trash. So there's a huge benefit to it. And then the mainland, man, my mainland is like that snake. You know what I mean? Like she changes my perspective. She is my ambassador. She helps me change other people's perspectives because I preach about the safety that goes into working with mainlands and getting to know your animals and what, like, yeah, it sounds scary at first. Like, oh yeah, this mainland could really hurt me. But then I explain to them the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it and the payoff of being able to walk into a mainland's enclosure and interact with them. Obviously safety first, but that interaction overall, it's like, now look at her. Like I can pull her out. I show people videos and pictures of her around my face and on my head and running around like a chicken with its head cut off, doing what mainlands do, climbing everything, curious. I've showed face-to-face interactions with the retic and the beautiful enjoyments that come of it. She's wrapped around my leg in a couple of photos. Like she's touching the ceiling off of the tip of my foot while she's wrapped around my ankle. And like, what a crazy thing to look at, And again, this is an apex predator. This is one of those big, scary animals out there to people to break the stigma. They're not. They're just another pet. They just take special requirements, much like pit bulls. You can't just get a pit bull, throw it in your house, and call it a day. But yeah, the mainland's the one that is the main animal that's done it for me, ambassador-wise, outside of the red pastel boa that I got from Patrick. Outside in the overall, like, I guess, environment, like, I get two paths. The mainland path, ambassador, like, pet, keeping, style, is going to be the mainland. And then on the industry, hobby, breeding side is the red pastel boa that I got from Patrick. Like, had I not bought that boa, my addiction to boas would not have started. Like, he lit that fire. Because now it's just, again, well, ambassador animals too, but like, you watch me pull out boas, man, it's like a fucking kid. Oh, look at this one. This one does this, but this with this, and this. Check this one out. And here's this one. This one's an a-hole. This one's super nice. This one's somewhere in the middle. Look at this pattern. Look at this color. Look at this ocelot. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Like, it's crazy, man. It's
never ending. Yeah.
It's like watching a kid in a candy store.
Pretty much.
Like, people
That's
are like,
exactly what happened.
And it's just this little kid comes out.
So you mentioned something. Do you have certain breeding projects that you're working towards, or are you just keeping right now?
I do have some very hyper-focused boa projects going on. I've got my Abby project that I picked up from Chad Tice. It's going to be Abby Hypo Het Anery 1 to Abby Hypo Het Anery 1. I'm hoping to hit every one on those. What would that produce? Abby Super Hypo Visual Anery 1. And then when I produce, then I'm going that male Abby, the male Abby to the red pastel. That's going to be a whole project again, making super hypos, Abby's, red pastel. Then that's going to go back to the anery line with the visual aneries and just start building hets. And from there, we'll see where that one goes, depending on what success I have. I don't want to get too deep into it because boas have their moments. I picked up that Molly Het Paradise from Chad. That's going to make me a bunch of armies of hets, and I'm planning on doing just Molly projects. Somewhere down the line, obviously, I'm introducing IMG. You already know your boy. The unknowns I have, I'm going to prove them out, putting those my normal male to them. Got the BCC project finally kicked up, the boa constrictor. I have the female. I'll add a Guyana male, start doing Guyanas. And then on the super dwarf side, I've got the Het G-Stripe project. Obviously, shout out to Bill at CMB, my brother from another mother, my family over there. We got that project going. That's going to be killer. I've got the male that I got from him, the 50% Calatoa, 25% Jampea. That's going to be going back to the Het G-Stripe, work that project together. get higher percentage Kalatoas out of that one with some Jampea mixed in. Obviously going to go for the G stripes down the road. Then that male will go to Chris's female that he picked up from Bill over at CMB. Again, shout out to CMB. Shout out to Lee Varner, help produce that male and that female that Chris has. Talk about like a dream project too. Like you got CMB line, you got fucking Lee Varner in there. Oh man. And then I got a surprise edition coming, so be tuned because that is man. I can't.
Can we get a hint at least?
I am adding an addition from one of my mentors, my number one mentor in the overall game. I'll say amazing. And it's going to.
So guys, stay tuned. Yeah, but you know what? You just rattled all that off, and you have plans, and it seems like you have long-term plans and aspirations too. You know, so that's a great part too. Is like you're not just thinking about, you know, this breeding season, next breeding season, but you're thinking about a couple breeding seasons ahead of time too, and that's important.
Thanks, man. No, for sure. That's yeah, and it's my thing is, man, I've slow and grown everything, dude. Like that, the key to my long-term success has been, or what my long-term success will be, is sitting on it, man, just playing with it and thinking about it. I mean, these boas are not new.
Doing it too much.
Some of the boas are new. Some of them, like the unknowns, are new, but again, they're unknown, so it's going to be more of like those are for me, 100%. Like I just have to find out where they're going to go and what I'm going to do with them. If they don't prove to be anything, I'll keep them all. Like I fucking love boas. But like the Abbey project, I invested in those years ago from Chad. I didn't do a lot of talking about it because I didn't know where I was going. I definitely knew I was going to them, obviously to make the anneries. But again, that's for me. Like I don't care. Like every single one of the anneries can stay. I fucking love annery 1. Like just annery 1 by itself, let alone making eclipses or doing anything else with that project. I just love anneries. I don't know what it is about annery. Well, I do know. It's the gray. It's the pattern. It's the different variations of annery that you can get. Obviously, long-term going for the carbon project, but we'll see if I go carbon or I go eclipse because I still don't know which left or right. I've got so many years to sit there and play with that in my head. It's still not even funny. Again, boas take years. Like I won't breed my females until 4.5 to 5 years, probably 5 years just to be safe. If not 6, like I am in no rush. I'm not in a rat race. There will be plenty of people breeding these projects and they'll be available, but this is for me. The red pastel, I still like that's not definitive where she goes. If she goes to anything, I might just fucking keep her as a pet, man. I love that snake. I love what Patrick did with the red pastel line. Like every time I pull her out, man, the little kid inside of me comes out. I'm just like, oh. I pulled her out like at lunch on my break today because I work from home. I was just like, oh, and she's going in the shed. I was like, oh. Dude, I got so pumped because every time she sheds, she gets pregnant. Every single time. And it's just like, Patrick gave me this literal drug that doesn't stop giving. Like every time she sheds, it's just better and better and better. And a good part of me, because I'm so in love with this animal, I don't want to take the risk of breeding it. Like that's another thought process that goes in. Like there's a good part of me that's like, I'm not breeding any boas. Like there's a ginormous voice and like right here that screams at me, don't breed them because you love them so much. Why are you risking? What happens if something goes wrong? What if something you can't control happens because you paired them?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Dude, like that's how deep my passion for these animals is. Like there's seriously like a voice right here. Every time I think about the projects, it goes, what if something goes wrong? Are you going to be able to forgive yourself? Are you willing to roll the dice on that female? You've put this much time, this much love, and this much emotion into this animal. Are you prepared for something to go wrong? Like this all just thoughts and processes that I have sitting in this room. Like when I'm holding the red pastel, dude, this is number one. This is what kicked it all off. Do I want to pair her? If I pair her, obviously this is where the route I think for now will go. I could add something in the future. I could decide, you know what? Let me scrap that. I think this would be a way better project. Maybe I pick up a carbon and then I decide to put red pastel in there just to see what the hell is going to happen. I don't know. It's just all random thoughts. But yeah, everything is long term and everything is slow growth. And again, there is that thought process, man. I don't the hog noses have some risk to them, right?
Yeah, like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, egg binding, males tearing off their hemipenes, getting infections, all that stuff with the breeding.
What the heck?
Yeah, man. Yeah, because the females are so much bigger than them. The females are dragging them around. They're locked up. So
Can
there's
you imagine
definitely
getting pulled around by your wiener? A chick 3 times your size, bro.
yeah. Yeah, man. So there's definitely risk that we don't talk about sometimes, right? Like I don't think nobody's hiding anything. It's just a lot of people we don't want to think about it, but there is a risk of it.
Shit, bro. Let me be the first to admit I think about it all the damn time, man. It's a thought process that goes through my head every time I think about the breeding. And Patrick really reinforced that, man. Like where there's ups, there's downs, and you have to think about the downs. You know what I mean? Like as much as I would love to tune out and just head first into the projects and think about the beautiful snakes that are going to come out, like there's definitely a good part of me. I think this what separates me from a lot of breeders is that does affect me. It does play a huge role because of my emotional attachment to my animals. I'm not saying that people don't have that, and I will be the first to say that my emotional attachment is probably stronger overall than an industry breeder. Because yes, they're gonna feel it, they're gonna be affected by it. Like my heart would shatter if that red pastel died tomorrow. Like you guys would not hear from me. I would it would devastate me.
See, like I have one project, like we have our first snake. He's a male. He's a normal conda that we bought, inexpensive hognose. And I bred him to a female that realistically I could bred another male to her and got a better clutch, more, worth a lot more. But one of the things I wanted to do, especially because that was our original pet, I want to start like a line. His name was Clover. That's how everything started. I want to start a line of Clovers. Like, hopefully I can get an offspring that looks like him and he'll be Clover too. And, if over the years, keep a lineage going up off of him. Because that one snake started everything, right?
Fuck yeah.
So, I don't care if I get, really inexpensive animals out of the clutch, as long as I can get something that looks like him and, keep on his bloodline.
What about you, Chris?
It's not always, yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna downsize. That's what I want to do. Definitely downsizing my balls, and I'm gonna start getting to something different. Me and Chuck were talking, and maybe I might get into breeding chondros, but he says they're a little tricky because the males will die with the female in there. Like if you put them together, the male will die or something. Because they don't like their, I guess, tanks or their enclosures messed with like differently. Like once you have it set up, that's how they like it. If you have it set up right, that's how they like it. But if you put the female in there, the male, he said that he really lost the male, and it sucked because he should have known better. But I mean, I'm just like, man, it seems like a lot of work, but I don't know, man. I really like those chondros. I really like the retics, and other things are like other projects are coming into my path. Like every time I touch a snake, it's just fall more in love with them. So yeah, I think I'm gonna downsize in the ball pythons and start working with other species. And I still got my rainbow female, so I'm gonna get a albino male and do that. So that's what I'm looking for right now.
Nice.
Rainbows are cool as fuck, man.
Rainbows are nice, yeah. I like rainbows.
And then of course I got the hognoses. I still want to, like you're doing. I still got my first male, and then my female. I only got one female, so if I get a baby, I'm keeping that one male that looks like him. So.
Sure, man. And so you don't have any breeding projects in the near future. You're still building
up no.
and trying to figure out what direction you're gonna go with actual breeding.
Yeah, right now, well, especially that I just added a pair because I won that raffle with bomb projects and FNA balls. I won a pair. It was supposed to be panda pieds, but I picked something different. Another pair. I didn't do the panda pieds. I went with the Desert Ghost Xantic project.
I mean, that's a good DG. Xantic. They look really nice.
I mean, they're
of
gorgeous. So,
there, bro.
Because I was talking to him, and I realized I already had the project here for panda pieds. So I got the project for panda pieds, and I got the project for urban camels, and then I got blackhead. I could do blackhead pies. I mean, I got a lot, dude. I just got a lot. I just don't know where I want to go yet. I know I want to work with just clown and pied, so I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the balls right now. At this point, right now, pretty much I just want to get rid of half of them, and keep what I would really, really, really want to work with, which is clown, Xantic, BPI, TSK. Probably keep my blackhead because that's the only blackhead I have, and yeah, that's about it. Just get rid of everything else because I
Yeah,
don't see
you
like
just gotta
I don't see
narrow it down. Yeah.
yeah I don't see me working with anything else that I have here. So
Hyper focus,
like
man.
What was that, Levi?
It's a hyper focus.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I've people have asked me, are you gonna get into any other stuff with my hog noses? I told them not in the next 2 years minimum. I'm gonna
Bro,
concentrate, breed the hog noses, expand, change certain things around, and concentrate on one thing at a time.
yeah, because I get what you're saying because like when I came into this, I was just grabbing stuff like man, I was like, ooh, I need that, ooh, I need that, and just buying it. And now that I'm like starting to focus more, and, like looking at my animals, I'm just like, I got to narrow this down. Especially that I'm about to get like my dream snake, which is the neochondra. That's one of my dream snakes. And then I got my second dream snake, which is the retic. And then I got my rainbow boa, and then my hoggies. So like everything's coming into my hand. So that's what I'm saying. Like you say that now, Alvaro, but when you get a snake in your hand, that's like, oh man, yeah, I need this.
You know
You'll
what?
see.
Well, so we were talking about this backstage with Levi. That raffle that's going on right now for the Bolin's Python, right? And it's $200 to be able to enter, a max of 2 tickets per person. So to be able to invest $400 for a pair, not just one, but a pair of Bolin's pythons, like how can you pass that up almost if you have the means to take care of them and house them, right? It's hard. Um, but at the same time, I have my lovely wife that definitely reins me in, and we do this together. You guys see me a lot because I'm the workhorse here. But like any major decisions, stuff like that, with the hog noses or stuff like that, we all talk about it as a family. So me deciding, hey, I'm gonna go and into this raffle, and if I win it, like I got to be able to. We as a family got to be able to take care of it, be on the same page. So that
y'all
that's
can
what
do it,
keeps
man.
me. That's what keeps me reined in. But I know what you mean, man, because like I go to the shows and I was telling my wife, what did I? Oh, I've said this before. I want monkey tail skinks.
Ooh,
I
ooh,
want
that's a hell of a
those.
species.
And I know they live better in groups. They need a large enclosure, stuff like that. So that's what's holding me back. I've talked to a couple people that breed them, stuff like that, but that's what's holding me back. Like being able to give them what they need to survive and thrive. Um, I don't want to get one or two. I think like a pair of fours is the best option because there are communal animals. And I talked to my wife about it. I go, if if we stay longer in Florida, in the next, for some reason, if our plans slow down to move to Texas, whatever it is, I'm going to convert my garage into a reptile room. And I've already thought about like one wall to create an enclosure and stuff like that. But then at the same time, she's like, "Are you sure you have all this stuff going on your plate?" So it's an important thing, I think, for myself at least to have that person to be able to rein me in and keep me on my track. Because like all of us, I think we get that snake or that animal in our hands, or like, I want this. The
For
kid
real.
comes out in us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the newest edition, I had to. That was one of those I had to ask for forgiveness, not permission things. I was like, "Hey, babe, I did a thing," and yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, too late. We already got it. She's all put it
Yeah,
back.
I definitely did. I definitely did with a couple of hog noses last year, and I'm reaching, the end of the rope right now, so I gotta wait for a little bit.
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely like,
Yeah.
unless the perfect. Well, one did come up, but this dude's been working the line for so long, it'll be years before I get my hands on him. It's either that or if Jesse over at Barrett's Reptiles. Forgive me, Jesse, if you watch this. Hits the Guyana's. That's the only thing I'll add is a male Guyana, and I want a newborn Guyana. Like I want one fresh off the lip. And it has to be like the perfect Guyana. It has to like light that fire. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not buying any Guyana because I got time.
Oh, you'll know, bro. Especially when you
Oh, for
touch
sure.
it, you'll be like, "Fuck yeah, this is it. This is it. Like, it's the one."
But yeah, that's the last project I'm adding for a long time. Yeah, because you talk about the end of the road, bro. I'm like on the ledge, like about to get kicked off. Like that James Franco meme. Oh, first time, like that's me for sure, 100%. Right.
I get it, man. A Gila. A lot of people are picking up Gila monsters recently too. And I'm looking and seeing them. They're pretty cool. And then I've committed to certain purchases this year. And I've already told my wife, and she's like, "Are you sure about this?" But it's within my hog nose projects and stuff.
Okay,
Like
there you go. Yeah, you're hyper focused, man.
Yeah,
which is perfect.
Keep it, man, because that's all I got out of the Colubers, man. I just wasn't hyper focused. My mind wasn't in it enough. My heart wasn't in it enough, and I knew there were people out there that could use the projects and take it to the next level that I wasn't going to. So that's again, I wasn't breeding for me. I was breeding for everything else at that point. So that's not what I'm. Again, I could head every project here and not sell any of them and be all right. I live a happy fucking life. You know what I mean? Because these boas are everything.
You're bringing up a good point because, we talk about breeding. Either if you're just doing it as a hobby or you're thinking about growing it as a business and breeding large quantities. You gotta understand that just because people are selling snakes doesn't mean your offspring are gonna sell as well. And you have to be able to think about if I have to sit on these animals for about a year, can I feed them? Can I have the time to house them? I have the space to house them. Can I have the time to take care of them? That's very important.
That's why I don't know if you saw in the group chat, but I was saying I overhauled the garage. Like I freed up an entire section of the garage just for future purposes, not to add anything, but just in case. Because like next season, I'm going to try to hit a couple of things, and it's like I'm going to need this space, and then if I continue with it, and again that contingency plan, and nothing sells, eventually they're going to sell. You know what I mean? But it's the time that you're going to sit on them. And I mean, I'm good. I'll fucking grow them out for people.
Yeah.
Let them stay.
Enjoy them.
Let them grow roots. I'll be all right with it. Getting a bunch of pissed off little baby boas. Go, oh, how cute. Dude, I do kind of miss that. Like, oh, how cute. It's trying to bite me. And then when they're an adult, you're like, oh, shit. Hey, you stay back there. No. Not to fucking day. No. The big difference.
Yeah.
And
do
Chuck
you guys have
go
ahead, Chris?
I was saying, Chuck was saying too, like to establish chondros is like 6 months after the egg, because when they come out, they're quarter size.
They're little tiny things,
pictures. Man. Yeah, so you have to establish that snake for 6 months until you're able to sell one. So it won't die or nothing. I was like,
you know what, man?
Damn.
That hard work, when you're able to accomplish it, is definitely worth a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
100. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the reason why everybody's not doing chondros.
And you're right. And that's
what separates the boys from the men, bro.
But he does say when he sees his babies do get established afterwards, or the ones that don't make it, unfortunately, he does feel good, like the ones that do. But then again, you don't ever see him post oh, like this baby's for sale or that baby's for sale, because they're already spoken for by the time he even, even posts a picture or something. So that's where I think where we all should be at is if we have babies and they're already spoken for, that's badass.
Yeah. So are you do you guys have, I know Levi, you have this pickup coming up that you're gonna have, but do you guys have any dream species that either monetary value or space that you can't get right now or within the next, couple years or so? Have you thought about that, or do you have what you really want to be working
The only thing I want is an all black snake, like a Mexican black king snake.
with? Okay.
Something I would add. Dream species, but basically has restrictions on it. Man, I would, dude. There's a couple of them, man. Like rock pythons, I wouldn't breed them. There would be a huge goal if I bred them, like to get them into the hobby again and help reestablish it. But a rock python, but that again, that's like adding another fucking mainland, huge responsibility. A Burmese, I would love to own a Burm just because it's an oversized fucking ball python. Because mainlands, don't get me wrong, are fucking badass, man. I love my mainland, but man, it's a whole different animal dealing with Burms from Tigs. I would love to own an olive python. I would love to own another water snake, diamondback water snake. Those would be fucking. Oh man, there's a lot, man. There's a lot, but a lot of that, like you said, a lot of it comes down to the keeping, the requirements, the size restrictions. Like I want to add any of the bigger species right now because I just don't have room for another fucking. My mainland's in a 10 by 7 by 7. She's not even full size yet. She's already in that big of an enclosure. Then I'll probably end up going that fucking Garrett Hartle route when she's full size and just fucking overhauling something into a 20 by 10 by 10. Just something absolutely ridiculously big for her. And again, if I added a rock or an olive, I'd want to do the same thing. I want something fucking ginormous, something I could walk into. Like that's why I love my mainland so much. I walk into her enclosure. I'm in there with her. Like I could sit down on the substrate and wait for her to come to me. If she's not being food motivated, or I'll walk in there and pick her up, get her to, recognize that I'm in there and just sit with her, man, in her enclosure. Like I ain't even got to bring her out. And then I take her outside. Yeah. But yeah, definitely one of those species, man. If the stars align and restrictions weren't a thing, like, yeah. But what holds me back is those restrictions.
And we talk about helping each other out and stuff like that. Jordan is part of the our familia and stuff like that. So he says he's built a pretty badass set of enclosures.
Oh, for sure.
And I know he's helped other people build large enclosures too. So he definitely has the know-how and skill to do it.
Oh, for sure. After looking at what they're doing for Karma out there, reach out, bro. Definitely. Garrett, fucking Jordan would be my first phone call. Basically doing the same exact thing. Like buying a fucking storage unit, cutting it up, and building this obnoxiously large enclosure to make it just that much better for the mainland. And again, this mainland is where I stop. Like I will not add another mainland. I was thinking about breeding her, doing the super dwarf thing, and then I was like, fuck that. By the time by the time she's breed ready and the super dwarfs are ready to go, like it ain't even worth it. Like there will be so many bloodlines with her morphs out there. Like she's a pet only.
See, that's another motivation for me to move to Texas, because the cost of living here in Miami, I can sell my house and move to Texas and get so much more land, be able to build a facility on my land and stuff like that, and have, get those dream, those species that need a lot more space, that need more interaction, because I have a whole just facility for that area, for the reptiles.
Bro, you could do that here in Texas.
That's what you just said, fool.
Oh, I thought he said in Florida. I was like, why you do that why you're about to move over here?
No, with what I have now, I can definitely get a lot more.
Oh, okay, yeah. Definitely.
See, I thought about that too, man, with the job that I picked up and the career changes that I made and being able to take it anywhere, man. I've thought about doing that in Texas just to have that land to be able to do a full facility. Because, like, if it's going to be a dangerous time, man. If I have money and the means to do things like build a facility, oh fuck, man, the limitations are gone, the possibilities are endless, and what I'm gonna do with just I can do it now and not add anything new, and just it would be incredible. Like what I would do with it, because like all of my animals are set up well, they're thriving, like I've got enrichments and everything going. But what I would do with a bigger facility, just to be able to throw fucking space at the boas, like fuck, man, yeah, I'd probably add the all over the rock, you know what I mean, just to have them, be able to knock that off the dream list, and I'd be able to give them what I want to give them, and then do what I would do with what I have now. Fuck, man, my African house snakes would be in 6x2x2s just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking boas in 10 foot by 7 foot by 7 foot, man, just to fucking deck them out, man, turn them fucking into little jungles, bro. Like, oh, what I would do, bro. Money and limited. Oh, take the restrictions off, man. Just, oh.
So much, right?
Yeah, he's like, oh man, he goes, I'm gonna start dreaming about this tonight.
I think about it all the time, man. Like what I would do if like I bought like a warehouse, you know what I mean? Like an Amazon sized warehouse, and what I could do for each individual animal that I have now, and then, you know, whatever future additions, like the amount of space that you would have to just play with things, you know what I mean? Just fucking the limitations, just removing limitations in general, what you would do with just what you have now. Like I have a handful of boas. Like imagine like what I would do to put them in 10 by 7 by 7s. Just to give them the space, and then the climbing means, and just for them to have that much more space to move around, man. Building gets addicted. Like that's one piece of advice that I give to anybody new getting into the hobby. Start with one, do the opposite of the rat race. Don't get a bunch of animals. Focus on the builds, man, because the builds are just as addicting. When you're watching your snake climb from spot A to spot B, getting up on the heat, so looking not on top of the heat source, but getting to the heat source and basking and moving around, interacting with this enclosure, man, and just like the overall look of it, being able to set up the leaves, the branches, the climbing, the shelves, it's addicting, man. It's just as addicting as adding more animals. Like looking at my super dwarfs wrapped up like a conjurer. Mind blowing, bro. Mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I like from you guys and seeing the SD projects that are out there. That's another thing I've had recently in the last like couple weeks in mind. Like, man, I wouldn't mind as you know a super dwarf and stuff like that. But same thing, you know. First of all, I can't have him here, you know. And
yeah, fuck for it.
You know, and then it's space, right? So like, and that move would solve those problems.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's a like, bug, bro. Like you.
Yeah.
Have you interacted with the retic yet? Have you had the chance being down there?
No.
Man, before FWC fucks it up even more, find somebody that has one under permits or whatever. And, dude, just interact with the mainland, interact with the super dwarf. Be careful though. I warn you, it's ass fucking dipshit, dude. It's a bug, bro. You get bit and it's.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
super they're intelligent, dude.
There's even a difference between the mainland and the super dwarfs too. Like they feel different, they act different. It's almost like two different snakes, man. If I could add a bunch more mainlands and like do it reasonably and you know be responsible, I probably would, just to have the different reactions mixed with the different super dwarves. But obviously being responsible, like I just want the one pet. People don't know, man. You pick up a 15, 16 foot snake and it's a different ball game.
Bro, their eyes, like they watch your every move. They move. Like when you move, wherever you go or you try to come around, their eyes know. Like,
so interactive.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. I've never seen a snake like that, and that's why I fell in love with her. Like I don't know what it is that when I hold her out though, she always tries to bite my beard. Like she's but it's because I guess it looks like a rat. So I don't know. I don't know, like man, but I love her, dude. Like I love her, even though. So everybody keeps telling me to tap hook her, like with the hook. Go in there and tap her.
Yeah, tap her.
Yeah, hook trainer. So I'll tap her and then I'll just come in with my hand like right after, and she won't bite me, dude. Like I'll let her be able to pick her up. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or that's a bad thing. People tell me not to do that, so I don't know.
So Let me ask you guys: do you guys have somebody in the community that you look up to, or that you I'm gonna say emulate because everybody's different, but that you um, want to get to their status of animal keeping and the way what they're doing with their animals?
Go ahead, Chris. You go
Shit.
first.
The Snow King, man. I really want those. Like, I want all those retakes. I really do. Want to get to his level, but
So Chris, through this podcast, I think we're figuring out where you need to go because you keep talking about the retakes
I love
and
them.
you're
I swear
falling
to
in love.
God, I do.
Um,
Yeah, I do. Like,
we got to talk offline and see what's the holdback. 'Cause there's a holdback there right now. Um, but yeah,
yeah,
I
there
think
is.
that's where you need to maybe start focusing and directing all your. I can see the the passion that when you're starting to talk about them.
Bro, it's just different. He's right. Levi was right. It's not ball python. First of all, they just sit there, no ball, and they'll move and whatever and whatnot. But yeah, the retakes, man, they're like they want to be social. They want to move. They want to see what's going on. Like, what are you doing? You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're
Example A,
curious.
bro.
Yeah.
You been peed on yet, though?
Yes. It's
Okay.
disgusting.
Wait till they get bigger.
I could.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get shit and pissed on by this one that ate not too long ago. But it's a thing, man. I don't even care at this point. Like, I just fucking, dude, I will roll the dice to interact with my retics. But the person, like, mentor, idol that I look up to, I mean, it's a given. Everybody fucking knows MJ, bro, 100%. And I mean, that's on the podcast level. That's on a keeper level. I said it when I fucking guested on Trap Talk, man. Like, I look up to MJ in every way, shape, or form. And I know he's not big on fucking reach arounds. I don't give a fuck if he watches this full reach around session. Like, everything about MJ is like you could look up to him. I get that MJ is not perfect, but nobody is. Like, shut the fuck up, look in the mirror. Quit obsessing over his fucking podcast and pointing out every little flaw about him because the shit gets old. I can sit here and do it to anybody and everybody on a personal level, a business aspect, it doesn't matter. But when he fucks up, he owns it 100%. He doesn't run from shit. It's face on, head on. I've always been that way, so I look up to the way he's done it on the podcast. When he makes a mistake, he owns it. If he says something stupid, he owns it. I've done the same. No, again, nobody's perfect. I've run my mouth in situations I had no fucking business running my mouth. As a keeper, man, as a fucking reptile keeper, when I say I'm about the animals, 100% I'm emulating MJ to the T. I am about the fucking animals. And he is more about the animals than 90% of this hobby. 100%. I will stand by it 10 toes down. I will die on that. Look at behind his podcast. Look at his backdrop. It's his chondros. It is all of his arboreal species, and they are to the T, bro. Look at his Instagram stories. He slaves to these animals, and it is no joke. Every enclosure is clean. Every enclosure is mint. Every animal is healthy. 10 out of 10. Just every way aspect. The amount of species that he keeps and how well he keeps them. Obviously, that man's boa game is second to none. His super dwarf game is second to none. I 100% look up to him, and I would emulate almost everything that he's done. Like, you don't get much better than the trap. You know what I mean? With all due respect to everybody else, like, it is something to look up to and something to work towards. And this is just, he's not done. Like, he's not sitting on his throne yet. I promise you that. Like, I've talked to this man and his thought processes and where he's going. I can only imagine what the trap looks like in 5 years. But 100%, like, that is the route I want to go. That is the path I want to take. If I'm going to breed for me. And I want all of my animals to thrive. I want to slave to my animals. What I do now? Oh, you little shit. I just got done.
Look at that. Look at that pattern. Tell me that's not amazing.
I'm telling you, bro, it's addictive. Look, bro, you could be a part of this all day. You could, bro. Just gotta
That's my move, man. I just gotta move.
Bro. And she's in shed too right now, which is amazing.
And you know what's crazy? You know, we have part of Mi Familia in like the area that I've been looking at of Texas and stuff like that. So you know, I have family, I have people in the reptile community already there. So it makes it like, I mean, it's gonna happen. It's just not exact say date, but it is gonna happen.
For
And
sure,
it's
man.
not, you know, it's not that I'm running away from Florida and stuff like that. Like I said, it was plans before, and everything that just happened currently going on, it's might make it quicker, right?
Exactly. Like they're tying your hands, man. You don't have a choice. Like what are you supposed to do? Go unwrite the legislation if it happens? You know what I mean? Like and even if you decide, like even if it goes well and you still decide to get out of Florida, man, like I wouldn't blame anybody. It's such an uncertain part of the country to be in. You know what I mean? Like looking at it from a compassionate aspect, like I will not move to Florida. Like if somebody paid me $10 million right now and I could have my facility and everything I dreamed of, I still want to do it because it's uncertain. Yeah, I could have all
I wouldn't recommend it for not even non-reptile keepers. Florida, the economy, the cost of living, it's almost unattainable right now. It's really hard for people to, especially in the area I live in, Miami, South Florida area. You know, it's hard. You know, you got to make a really large quantity of income to live comfortably. I'm not talking about surviving and feeding your family, but to live comfortably, enjoy your life. Luckily, we've lived here for since 2012, so we came in before this crazy inflation that has been happening. But if it continues, then there is no place for us here on that spectrum too.
Oh, for sure,
definitely, bro. I was like, definitely. But I feel like inflation is happening everywhere.
It is, and
So
we have to make the best decision for our family. What's for the long haul?
For sure, 100%, man.
it looks like Texas or Arizona for you, bro.
100%, man. It's
Move to Arizona, bro. Me, you, and Boza could get matching pajamas, bro. I'm telling you.
Good pajamas with aliens on them.
Yeah. Because you know what? The Boza moves here, the aliens coming with his ass.
There ain't nothing wrong with aliens.
Hey, bro, South Phoenix, bro, South Mountain is the home of the original fucking aliens.
That's true, yeah.
Florida did its second, dog. One of the biggest UFO sightings the biggest UFO sighting of all time happened here in Arizona.
See, I didn't
Guys,
know
yeah, we've been on here for almost 2 hours. We're gonna start closing it out. I'm gonna ask you the closeout question. I don't know if you guys have already seen it.
Oh,
if you guys
has it been 2 hours?
Yeah, man, close. There we go.
Damn, bro. We get to talking snakes, and it's a wrap.
That's right, bro, man. And this is not just talking snakes, but talking people that we enjoyed speaking to and good people, right? Like
100, bro.
It just continues. We'd probably be here another 2 hours, and
easy.
Keep going. But I know it gets late. There's so much of time that people are attention span too. But I don't know. You guys could rock paper scissors. See who's gonna answer the question first.
He always tells me to go first.
Person with the smaller retake goes. Ready, set, go.
Whatever,
if you
bro.
If you have 5 minutes to speak to the whole world, what would you tell them?
Oh, you fucking would. What a loaded question. Oh,
That's not a loaded question at all. That's easy. Just do your research. Work what you want to work with.
The whole world. No, but this is talking about reptiles. Just think about like in general.
Whole world.
The whole world. 5 minutes to the whole world. If you could speak to them and have their attention for 5 minutes, what would you say?
So, man, this is a loaded question now that I think about it like that. God damn. I don't know. Levi, you go. I got to think about this one.
If I had 5 minutes to speak to the entire world,
I would
tell everyone to kiss my ass. No, I'm just kidding. Man, 5 minutes. I would have to condense down the lightning in a bottle, because that's a game changer, man. To try to change the minds of everybody that doesn't like these animals or scared of them or has an unnecessary stigma against them that has been implanted in them. to spend 5 minutes telling people why this could be a part of their world, but to at least accept it and try to understand why I am in absolute love with this animal and every reptile under the sun, and try to pass off the lightning in a bottle. Why this means so much to me, why I protect it, why conservation is so important to me, why I do what I do, why this interaction right here means the world to me. I would spend 5 minutes trying to erase the stigma against our animals, and it's every reptile, every keeper, and why, again, the lightning in a bottle. Let me pass it off.
I think that's a good and much needed message that we need to share.
I don't know. And I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to piggyback off that.
You shouldn't have passed, man.
Yeah, I know. Oh well, mine's is kind of the same, but it's not different. It's like stop trying to change people. Like, you know what I mean? Like in our Mi Familia chat, we're all different. I mean, we all may not get along, but I mean, we're all there for each other regardless. We're family, you know. And people, we have our own opinions and our own points on why we do things. And then there are people that will try to get you to do it like them. Like, you don't need to change people. Let people be who they are. You know, let them think for themselves. Pretty much, just be who you are, because we do need different. I'm not saying,
Amen.
you know, follow everybody, and you know, don't follow everybody. Just be yourself. Pretty much, that's it. Just be yourself. Just be who you are.
It's a good message, man. Because like we were talking about earlier, we get caught into the stigmas of society and what everybody else wants you to be. You forget, you lose yourself.
I just feel like when people say, "Well, I do it this way because so and so told me," you know, but like, why? Just do it your way. It may not be the right way, but you'll learn. You know, you all got to learn. Everybody's got to learn. Just be who you are. Stop trying to change yourself to please other people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Fuck
Sure.
people think, bro.
That's what
I mean,
would say.
both good answers. Both good answers, man.
Man,
And it's
Ray
a hard
said
one.
it best. Ray said it best. It is none of my business what anybody else thinks of me. The only thing that matters is what I think of me.
There you go.
I always go back to it. Good luck telling me something about me that I don't fucking know. If anybody can tell me something about me that I don't already know, my head would explode. I am my biggest critic. So be yourself. Because the only opinion that matters is the opinion of yourself. If you don't love you, then nobody else can.
Yeah. It's the saying that how can you help someone if you don't help yourself?
Exactly.
Yep, 100.
You always put your oxygen
You're
mask on first so you can help others around you.
100%. Yep, that's exactly how it goes. Yep. You know, and it's crazy because I preach that to my daughters, because you know you have kids, you know but this person's not doing this and this one's not doing that, right? It's like worry about your own actions first, and then worry about the other people's actions.
Amen. 100.
Agreed. Yep.
I think we're gonna end that on that note, man, because we definitely covered some good topics on the podcast.
That's been good, man. It's been a hell of a conversation. It's been a
2
really good
hours
podcast.
went by super fast. You know, and it's like I said, it's conversation. It's not an interview. It's conversations. There's a couple questions I want to, you guys to answer, but at the same time, it opens up to a larger conversation.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's been great. No, I love the freestyle, bro. It does not get any better.
Why? What is one question you wanted to ask us you didn't get to?
One question I didn't get to ask you, man. Here's a good one. What wakes you up in the morning to keep going on every day?
What wakes me up in the morning to keep me going? like what motivates me to wake up.
Yeah. Well, what's that drive to wake up every morning and keep doing what you got to do? Like,
Right here, this guy or this girl, my animals, my reptiles. Seriously, like I know when you go to a tub and you pull it out and you open it, or see their enclosure and you see them, I don't know, it just lights me up. Like, can't believe I have this, you know? Can't believe she's
yeah.
here. So that, yeah, pretty much she keeps me going. Or my rainbows or whatever reptile I look at or want to look at that day. That's pretty much what keeps me going is the reptiles. I would have to say.
In this exact order: wife, kids, reptile. Wake up every morning to keep my life with my wife going because my kids wouldn't exist without her. And I live for my kids. I wake up every morning to provide for them. And without them, I wouldn't have the reptiles. And everything kind of works as a perfect trinity.
Those are all great reasons, and you know, I see the same point of views. You know, and Levi, you had a really good point of view there. Wife, kids, and then reptiles. A lot of people, and we're not gonna go off to marriage kinds of stuff, but a lot of people put their kids before their own relationship, right? And their wives and stuff like that. A
I
lot of
do
people don't
that.
understand that. A lot of people, but you know, a lot of people don't understand. Like, eventually, your kids are gonna become adults, and they're gonna start their own life, just like how we have, right? And if you have a good marriage or partnership, whatever it is, um, at the end of the day, that's that person is gonna stay with you for the rest of your life. He's gonna be there waking up next to you every day and pushing you to keep waking up
Now that you put it like that, man, I'm running.
next day.
He's right though. Now that I see what he's saying, yeah, okay.
Exactly. Wife, kids, reptiles, man. 'Cause, again, Olivero has a very strong point too.
Well,
But man,
I don't have a wife, so I have kids. So that's why I
without
put my
her,
kids. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and it's
Well,
not
it
the
would
same for
be
everybody too.
ex-wife, kids, or what?
Well, no, because it didn't
No,
work out. But if
yeah,
it worked out, it would be wife, kids, reptiles, and again, I wouldn't have my kids without her. She made a lot of things possible without even intentionally doing it. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life, and I always tell her all the fucking time, like, get ready, because
you're stuck
whether
with
I
me.
go or you go, like, I'm gonna find you in the next life, and the life after that, and the life after that, your ass is stuck with me. Because
Yeah.
fuck, man, if my kids are grown out of the house and they're successful and on their own, man, and something happened to my wife, I can't promise you that I want to follow right behind. It wouldn't be one of those like I'm gonna kill myself, but like I just don't. My will to be here really wouldn't be here. My will to follow her would be stronger than to be here anymore. You know what I mean? 'Cause my
And
kids
that
are
happens a
successful.
lot. Yeah, it
Yeah,
happens a lot to like couples that have been together for 50, 60 years. You know, one goes and not soon after, just the grieving process, the will to keep going, you know, goes with
You
them.
give up, yeah.
'cause that is your life, man. Like when you fall in this deep in love with somebody and they've been there that long and you've been ride and die and been through the ups, downs, tribulations, the fucking fuck yous, the I love yous, the fucking slamming the door and not walking away. It's that's your will to live, man. And a lot of the way I look at it, man, is it's not that you're giving up. It's not fully grief or heartbreak that does it, man. It's just following that person. Because I
I don't
promise
know.
you, like,
Mine's cheated on me, so I guess that's different.
yeah, it's completely different. In a healthy, non-toxic relationship,
Correct.
yeah, as long as if my kids aren't out of the house and something unfortunate happens, like it is what it is. Like I'm gonna push on and push through. But once they're successful and on their own, man, like I'm gonna fucking find you. I will spend the rest of my life looking, and that is probably going to be the end. Like let death come, because the next life I'm going to find you, and the life after that, the life after that. Like this is once you find your soulmate, man. That's it. Like it's not a partner, it's not a wife, it's your soulmate. You're talking a
Yeah,
spiritual fucking engagement that's beyond this world.
and I think
See
a
that,
lot of
Levi?
us that are even like in the reptile community, we wouldn't be able to maintain our animals at the level that we do if you're keeping it at a high level if you didn't have that support from your loved ones and your wife or your partner, whatever it is, you wouldn't be able to. I know I wouldn't. So we do definitely have to say thank you and give them their props for it. They might not be in here cleaning tubs and feeding these animals every day, every time with us, but they are supporting these other things in our lives. And that might be, it might not be your partner, it might be your sister, it might be your family member that is pushing you. Definitely, I'll say thank you on my behalf to anybody that is supporting my thing with my reptiles, with anything else I do in life. I am lucky to have a good support system.
Amen.
But at the same time, I think you attract what you put out.
100.
Amen.
And that's the reason why I wanted to bring you guys on this podcast, because I do see you guys as a positive part of the community and putting good vibes out there and making it, pushing each other and making it to the next level.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Any last words?
Yeah. Shout out to the family.
Yeah, shout out to the family. Shout out to Chris. I mean, honestly, without Fortnite and a late night conversation one night, we wouldn't be here, man. It really started with the kids and Fortnite, and fuck, man, we're here now. Shout out to you.
I'm gonna put in the description. I'm gonna tag Fortnite because we might have to get a Fortnite. What's it called? Sponsorship on your podcast.
that'd be dope, dude.
That would be sick.
That would be dope.
Honestly, that's where it started, man. And without it, we wouldn't be here today. It was that conversation first lighting the fucking fire under me to fucking live up to the idol that I look up to, man.
I do want to add one more thing, though. I want to do shout out, if you don't mind. I want to shout out Baby Jesse's Reptile World, and he's doing some incredible things over there. His rescue, y'all need to go check him out. That guy's doing amazing things. He has animals that he's rescuing. Like, he's not asking for help or anything, but if you have any enclosures that you could donate to him, that's about it.
100, yeah. Shout out to Jess, man. He's doing God's work over there, saving animals and finding them the proper homes. And, I'll use this opportunity to clear something up. When you're a rescue, you have to make money somehow. Rescues don't fund themselves. So as a rescue, you need an LLC to be a legitimate business, to sell things, to fund the things that go into the rescue. So let me make that very clear. Very, very clear. For the people that don't know how nonprofits work, that's how it works. Behind every nonprofit, there is an LLC where they sell things and they make the money to keep the place running. Money doesn't produce itself, and you can't run a full business off of nothing but charitable donations.
Right.
I'll clear the air on that. So shout out to Baby Jess and everything he's got going on. He did get his LLC. He is getting things up and going. And again, he's doing the good work, man. He's rescuing animals and finding them homes and doing whatever it takes to keep the doors open and keep those rescues coming in. Because if you can't fund them, can't take them in, they're going to die. Because somebody's going to leave them out.
We don't give people that are running rescues enough credit for being part of the community. We give a lot of glory to the breeders and these high-end keepers and stuff like that. We don't give enough credit to these guys that are doing the rescue part of it.
We really don't. So, we should.
That's a good point, and we'll talk about that. We definitely got to maybe do something.
Yeah, for real, we do.
Let's get that on the books.
Yeah, that'll be great, because it's not just him. There's a handful of we're talking about him because we know him, personally, and he's part of the Mi Familia and stuff like that. But there's a lot of rescues out there that are in the same struggle, right? Day to day, trying to keep it running, giving the animals the care they need that they didn't get from a lot of the animals are neglected. So that's another part of it too.
Yeah, the surrenders that these rescues are getting are not. It's not like I'm handing up this mainland, or not this mainland, super dwarf. It's not like I'm like, here's a perfectly healthy animal. Even if it looks healthy from the outside, it's got something going on, because the people that are surrendering animals, most times they're not taking care of them, and that's why they're surrendering them. And I don't think people that from the outside looking in understand what goes into. Go tour a fucking rescue, and people are on the brink of insanity half the time, trying to keep the thing running, just in general, let alone taking care of the animals, getting them back on their feet, finding a home for a 3-legged bearded dragon. Nobody wants a disabled bearded dragon.
Yeah, or MBD looking dragon. It's like deformity.
Because I go, here's a perfectly healthy super dwarf, and I got 100 people lined up. I go, hey, I got a super dwarf that cannot breed, that's got some neurological issues, that's got a kink in its spine, and all of a sudden nobody wants it. There's probably 2 people, and only a half of those 2 people are even able to take care of the animal.
Sure.
So, walk a mile in their shoes. Walk a mile in their shoes. And let's put something together, boys. Let's get
we'll definitely, put something together. We'll definitely brainstorm together. All right.
Hell yeah.
Thank you again, guys, for this podcast, taking the time and being here with me, speaking your minds, and just giving some good conversation to the audience too. I think
100, man.
We share good points, and you never know that person that might need to be hearing some advice or something, different points that might have in their mind, and maybe not know how to ask someone, right?
100.
About their animals, life, whatever it is. So thank you again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
for having us.
Sure. We're gonna end it on that note.
Let's do it.